Hi Stampers, it's super awesome stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, USA. This card is part of my Suite of the Month program where you purchase a suite of projects and then I snail mail you 2 card making kits and you use your suite of products to finish the kits that I mail to you. So let's get started with making this card from your kit. So open it up and you're looking for the kit that has got the Blackberry Bliss base. And you also need to grab this pattern piece of paper. Now it's not quite 6 by 6 because I had to cut it down a little bit to mail it. But what you're going to do is fussy cut 4 of the pre-printed shapes. So this one here was an edge shape. So you can certainly use the edges of your pattern paper if it's a pattern that runs off and you're fussy cutting, and you just attach it to the edge on the inside. And then this one was an edge one also that I tucked under, and this was an edge one as well. The edge is just right there. So let's get started making this card. I'm not going to show you how to fussy cut. You all know how to do that. I've already got my pieces fussy cut, so I'll be doing some swap outs as we go. Okay, so I layer up my card kit so that the inside is always the first layer. And I'll just be using some of our Stampin' Seal and the not the Whisper White, the Basic White. You need to get used to saying Basic White. We changed Basic White paper suppliers, so how am I going to attach? I was going to attach, so this was the edge on one of the pattern papers. Do I like it like that? I think yes. I want the full blooms shown. Or I could attach it down here, or I could attach it over here. I think I like it at the top the best. Remember, it's your choice. It's your card kit, so you can do whatever you want with the supplies that I provide. All right, now I'm going to use my bone folder and crease that score mark down so it lays a little more flat. And I don't think I did this one. It's kind of popping up at us here. There, that'll lay a little more flat. Okay, so I cut the pattern pieces at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and it's this pattern with the light purple stripe on the back. And this is all a bunch of Rococo Rose hues, hydrangea petals. It's on the front. Then the next layer is going to be this acetate. I'm not going to add any adhesive just yet. You're going to take your baker's twine. So this comes from the Snailed It bundle, not from the Hydrangea Hill bundle. And then just let it overhang towards the bottom and do a couple of wraps around. And then I just did a simple knot at the top. And then find your, maybe move that over a little bit so it's more like in the 3rd quadrant, the left 3rd quadrant. Find your little heart charm. Now there's a front and a back side to the charm. There's a flat side, which is the back side, and the rounded side is more the front. So make sure you have your front facing up and loop it through. And then just make a simple knot. And that's just how your heart charm will kind of hang out at the top there. And then I see my heart charm is closer to the top, so just move your baker's twine to be where you want your charm to be. Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave that aside for a second, and I'm going to pull in my pre-fussy cut hydrangea pieces. All right, so they will kind of layer this way. One tucked underneath the baker's twine. One popped up on some dimensionals. Here I'm just using our mini dimensionals. I'll do one on 3 corners. This is the exact pattern that I've cut out here, so it pops up there. And then this one's got the flat edge right there, so I need to kind of tuck that under where we maybe won't see that quite as much. And I will hide it with some of our ribbon. So I included some of this striped ribbon in the Blackberry Bliss. Comes from the Ice Cream Corner suite. And I tied a little mini bow. So you're gonna have to tie your bow yourself. But what I do is the angled edge faces this way, angled this way, like to the 10 o'clock position. I take a little tiny loop, do a bunny ears, little tiny bunny ears. I want just a little tiny bow. And then you need to just grab the loops and just do a little pull. So in order to get a little tiny bow, you got to do little tiny loops. There we go. And then just pull that tight. And there we go. Just trying to secure it. Pull that loop back a little bit. Pull this loop up. Sometimes it's just a little bit of a zhuzhing and using your fingers to move that loop where you want it. And then cut off your tail. I always have the longest part of the tail closest to me and the shortest part towards the bow loops. Okay, and that will go down there once we get that far. The reason why we did the bow first is because right here we've got a little bit of a V shape of the ribbon. So you have more ribbon than what you'll use, or you can figure out a way to use it in a way that works for you. So V shape, and I got my tails going the same way on that as well. And that just gets tucked under the heart charm, and that kind of anchors the heart charm, and it brings that Blackberry Bliss color in. All right, so let's start assembling. Let's flip this over. And now I know where my flower is going to be underneath my ribbon. Actually, let's just adhere that down. I need to show you something. Any kind of adhesive is going to show through this acetate paper because it's not full. It's not a full acetate piece. Like there's holes through it. Can you see that? So I'm going to use my tear and tape because we're securing down some ribbon here. And now that I've attached that flower cut shape, fussy cut shape, I can see where that paper is, and I can put some pieces of tear and tape over that. And this is the adhesive that will secure this acetate piece to the pattern paper. If I can get my tear and tape strips up. Okay, so flip this over. Now before I set this down, I need to decide how much I'm going to tuck this one under or where it's going to go. So flip that over and put some adhesive on the back side of that and kind of place these simultaneously. I'm looking for a little bit of space down here and then to cover up this edge where it was the end of the pattern paper. And I think that looks good. Okay, so that one's adhered down. Now next, I'm just going to cover up that end so it's not such an abrupt end there to the pattern. Okay, then this one should do the waist to the left there a little bit. Out of the way. All right, and then I had this tucked maybe like right there. Kind of wanted to give the impression that this was a swag. All right, and then next would be to tuck our little V-shape ribbon, the Blackberry Bliss. And the way I adhere that would have been some glue dots. So one glue dot on the back of the ribbon to secure it, and then one glue dot on in the center so we can flip it over and secure it where we want it in the V shape. And that just gets tucked under the heart. So I'm kind of showing you that you can build some layers with smaller pieces. Doesn't have to be full pieces. Build some layers in lots of colors. All right, now this baker's twine. Over on the sample, I have the ends a little shorter. I don't know, I kind of like them a little longer. I might just leave that. Oh, that one's gonna hang off the page. Just cut that up a little bit there. So you trim your baker's twine, Rococo Rose baker's twine to the length that you want. Okay, next, I included this little die cut shape, which is part of the Hydrangea dies collection. But what I did not include was the backer sheet behind it, the little mat. And you'll cut a custom cut mat off of your scraps. So once you start fussy cutting your flower bunches, you'll get a whole bunch of scraps. So before I fussy cut that, I am going to do my stamping. Let's move a few things out of the way here. So I got a flat surface to stamp. Look for I'm using the Blackberry Bliss ink pad. Look for the front side. You'll notice one side looks like the die pierced the paper, and one side looks like the die is, or the paper is kind of pushed through a little bit. Excuse me. So we want the side where the die is pushed through. It's more of a pronounced die, or dashed line piece. All right, so now I just have the For You stamp from the Hydrangea Haven stamp set. So the reason why I wanted to stamp first before I fussy cut was so that Blackberry Bliss ink pad again was so that in case I didn't get a good impression on my stamp, here, there we go, flat or harder surface will let me roll that adhesive out of there. I lost my train of thought there. Oh, in case I didn't get a good impression, I could always flip that over and nobody would know that I stamped on the back side except if I sent this to a avid paper crafter. Okay, so then I just fussy cut straight line. I actually quarter rounded on the sample, but I wasn't a very good quarter rounder, so I will just leave a straight line this time. Then we just tuck that underneath there. Oh, and I've got a dimensional underneath there. Let's lift that up. Since it's acetate, yeah, it won't stick quite as tough. So just tuck that underneath there. Oh, well, it would help if I put some adhesive on the back side. There we go. Just make that straight. And then pull in your little mini bow and adjust the ribbon again. This little loop. Doesn't want to stay up where I want it. All right, attach that with a mini glue dot. And that's it for this kit. So my sample card, and then what the one looks like that I assembled with you. Pretty close. Different inside. I am going to show you the products that I used to create the card or the stamp set. So Hydrangea Haven is where I got the little For You. So on this kit, I didn't stamp any of the larger images. And it comes with a Hydrangea die. So you can purchase these as a bundle and you get 10% off the individual prices, or you can purchase them separately. You can also purchase them as a suite. So the only die I used in this kit would have been this little label right here. All right, last, I'm going to show you in the mini catalog where the supplies are that I used to create the card kit. So it's the January to June catalog. The Hydrangea Hill Suite is where I got the pattern papers. So page 18 to 19. Here's the acetate sheets. You get 4 sheets, 1 of 2 designs. And the back side is a gray. So if you don't like the purple designs, the purple tones, you can certainly use gray, which is the other side. And then here's the other. So this is the actual size of the stamps. And here's where you've got the bundle. And then the suite, if you want to purchase everything, which is 1 of everything on this page, the suite item number is here on page 18. Okay, and then the 2 ribbons that I used on this card actually did not come from the suite. I used the Blackberry Bliss stripe ribbon on page 49 from the Ice Cream Corner suite. And also the, oh, that's the Blushing Bride Baker's Twine from the Snail Mail suite on page 55. All right, I hope you enjoyed assembling your kit with me. For full details about my Suite of the Month program, go to my blog at superawesomestamper.com. And while you're on my YouTube channel, make sure you click the like button and subscribe so you're notified when I load new content to my channel. Thanks for stamping with me today, and have a great day. Bye.